done 182 past clients in the first quarter. So, and here's the deal. There's about 12 or 13 pending in March still. So I keep going to paperless pipeline like, I know this closed. Why don't somebody change it to closed? But I got to stick to the number. So that number will probably adjust some up because there is about 14 to 15 more. So, we are right on track. Y'all are at $54 million in total volume. Average price point is $265,000, which again, as the numbers go up, we get a lot closer to kind of the average areas that we work. So average price point is $265,000, 78 listings, 104 buyers. So if you remember last year, we were very 50-50, which is very odd. Most brokerages are never 50-50. Most brokerages are stronger on the buy side than on the listing side across the board. So to be 50-50 was very odd and cool. And again, I just want y'all to create past clients. I don't care if they're listings buyers. I want y'all to choose that. So we're starting to kind of get to 60-40, which is really a cool place. We had 17 lead share deals close in Q1. So everybody that's in lead share, y'all are freaking crushing. And here's the greatest part is that the momentum going into quarter two, we are going to blow that number away in quarter two because so many people are hot. So many people are right there on the cusp of doing something. We've updated some stuff. Jessica Shea has been, I don't know how many leads a week you're sending over, but Jessica's slaughtering it on the phones. The agents that are in lead share A are following up. Matthew's doing a great job kind of leading that team together. And it's so exciting. But to give you a comparison, last year at this time, we had closed 5. So we are way up on that, and I think we're going to continue to see that go up. One thing that I did want to mention, just as kind of a reminder for everybody, is we've got the Red Barn, redbarnrealtors.com website. Is that correct? If you have not been there yet, we made some changes to it. So if you go there today, it's going to ask you, Keith actually built the site. So Keith right here built the site for us, and Keith runs it. So he'll give you his phone number after today, and if you ask for permission, he doesn't give it to you, just call Keith. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But if you go in there, it's going to ask you for your information the first time. Go ahead and put that in, because what we're going to start doing with that is we're going to start utilizing that a lot more. So I'm going to be doing kind of a monthly update on there. So I'll be writing kind of a monthly article on things, because what I want to do is keep everybody in the brokerage kind of aligned with what's going on out there. I want y'all to focus on your job. I want y'all to focus on your clients. I want y'all to focus on things you focus on. Let me kind of continue to look out there in the future of what's going on, because lots of things are changing in the real estate industry. And like I've told y'all, we sit in an amazing position to capitalize in these changes. And so for me, I'm pretty excited about the changes that are going on, and I'm going to talk on that here in just a second. So a quick announcement. I think I've got 24 people that have signed up for the mastermind on the last Thursday of the month. You will be getting an email from me today. Everybody that signed up for the mastermind, if you don't know what I'm talking about at all, shoot me a quick email and I can kind of talk to you about it. But basically what we're doing is it's a mastermind for agents that have done 10 or more deals. So we're doing, we've got our mentoring program, and we kind of do some smaller masterminds within the mentors. So this is going to be more for agents that have been doing this for a while. And the goal behind this is that everybody in this mastermind, it's not going to be me up here talking. I'll be facilitating it and just keeping things rolling in the mastermind. But the mastermind is going to be sharing things that have made you successful, or coming up with, hey, I'm struggling with this in my business, and I just want to throw it out there to the group and see if y'all have any suggestions. Because one of the things, anybody that coaches in here knows this, that coaches the new agents. Anybody that's ever coached anybody, when you're in the middle of your own stuff, sometimes you get tunnel vision because you're so close to it. And if you can just get 10,000 feet above it and take a look down, you can kind of see something that maybe you've missed. And so that's what this mastermind is about. This mastermind is about sharing ideas. I'll give updates. I mean, agents are going to be pouring into it, but each agent will be presenting for 20 minutes in the mastermind. So we're super excited about that. We are going to start that the last Thursday. It will be from 9 to noon. I think I scared some people with my 9 to 3 commitment. Sorry about that. We're going to keep it shorter because, again, here's the deal. Like anything we come up with at Red Barn, if it does not have value, we kill it. Because I don't want to just have y'all come in and waste time. I've told y'all before, Laura and I are involved in a mastermind. We get a lot out of it. They kind of speak into our business, give us ideas. And so I'm just really big fan of Mastermind. So you'll get, if you've already emailed me that you're in, don't worry about it. I'll put you in a group. If you don't know what I'm talking about or you have more questions, shoot me an email today and I'll talk to you individually about that for sure. Any questions on Mastermind, website? Nope. Good deal. All right, so one of the things that I really want to talk about that I've been reading a lot on, have been doing a lot of research on, is the history of real estate. I'm not going to bore you all to death here with this, but it's a very interesting thing. And I think that as our industry continues to change, and right now, anybody who is either new to real estate or just maybe doesn't know. Right now, our industry, and it's not a bad thing, it's a little bit in chaos right now. And there's just a lot of things that are going on, and I'm going to kind of explain what that is. But in the old days of real estate, the broker ruled the roost, right? I mean, if you look at all the old laws, all the old rules, all this stuff, you know who was kind of helping set all these guidelines. And this was kind of the broker. And when I say broker, I mean, obviously lawyers are broker, but I mean, most of the time, the broker was the owner by themselves, and a lot of things kind of flowed through the broker. The broker had private information. The broker, which agents in turn got all this too. Well, about, I'd say 8 to 10 years ago, there was a big shift in the industry from broker to agents, right? And all of a sudden, the agents started to become, and should become, the most important thing in the industry, not the broker. I mean, the broker should be here to help out and stuff, but the agent. So all these brokers started working on plans to be very agent focused. What can we do for the agent? It's all about the agent. And we have now seen a third shift, and that third shift is actually the consumer, right? I mean, it's the client. It's what I talk about all the time. And the big shift is what is going on for the client and what is going on for the consumer. And that's where kind of the chaos in our industry has come from. So I want to share a couple things with you as we talk about that. So in 2013, $475 million was poured into the real estate industry from investors, Wall Street investors, okay? I'm just going to call them Wall Street, but they're come from all different sides. Last year, anybody know what that number was last year? From 475 million in 13, $5.4 billion. Staggering, right? And with that, what's happening is we are seeing companies go more and more after the consumers, right? We are seeing technology. We all know the iBuyers are out there. And that's a model. We're working off thin margins. Market's got to keep moving up. That's a model. We're also seeing a model, though, where people are coming in and saying, you know what, real estate agents have made too much money, so we don't want to replace them. We just want to take some of their money. And so every day I read about a new company that has come in that's like, look, we're not realtors, but we offer services for the consumer, and we're going to get realtors involved, and whether they're charging for leads or charging splits or referrals. So we're starting to kind of see a lot of that, and that's that mid-range. And then the third range is just us, the real estate agents, right? And us, the real estate agents, we are trying to work and figure out what do we look like in this new moving market. And I, for one, as we've worked with iBuyers, as we've ventured into some of these things, I know for a fact that the real estate agent is the quarterback of the deal. Because consumers, guys, I can tell you all horror stories. I mean, there's a consumer right now that's literally under contract with OfferPad, Open Door, and Zillow. Signed 3 contracts. They're not represented by anybody, but they signed 3 contracts. They're waiting on all 3 companies to come back and do the inspection. And then they're either going to accept one of them and cancel on the other 2, or I don't know what they're going to do. And I was having a conversation with Open Door, and they're like, Scott, how's that legal? And I'm like, because the consumers don't know what they're doing. I mean, they're just out here in la-la land. Y'all are confusing the heck out of them. Yeah, I mean, they don't want representation. They're making mistakes. And so what I see and what I know, and you're going to continue to see Red Barn push more and more, not into this, but with this, is that an agent who can get in there and give these people options is going to be the agent that wins. And The agent that can go in there and say, look, I understand speed and convenience is what you're looking for, but it's going to cost you $50,000 for speed and convenience. Again, if you want that, that's fine. And we can all get paid in that because we all know how we can get paid by doing referrals on that. But why don't you let me put a sign in your yard? Let's go the traditional route. Let me take some of the pain points. Like, what are your biggest fears about listing this house? Oh, I don't know. Like, people just will stop by at any point and want to come see the house. No, they won't. We'll set up a showing time. We'll make a 3-hour window. We can do all these different things. And so what I see is I'm excited that our industry is moving to consumer focused, but I think the most deadly thing in our industry is a real estate agent with all the tools who's consumer focused. And so that's where we are. That's where we want to continue to go. Any ideas from y'all on how we can do a better job on that? I would love to hear them, because that literally is where my brain is every single day. Because I know, hyper local, great knowledge. Because if it's just money, has anybody ever heard of a company called SoftBank? Yes. Yes? So SoftBank Vision Fund is right now in the process of raising $100 billion to invest in tech. Their goal was tech. It is a Japanese kind of capitalist hedge fund group. A lot of the money's coming from Saudi Arabia, so they're just raising money like crazy. And SoftBank is trying to raise, this $100 billion for innovations, right? Anything in the tech world. But so far, they have spent $10 billion in the last couple of years just in the real estate. So they're the ones that are investing heavily into things. And so we're going to continue to see new techs come out. We're going to continue to see all this stuff happen. But to me, if we take that and put the real estate agent in the middle, which is where it should be, it's going to be amazing. It hopefully will make your job a little bit easier. It'll make you give a better, a better job to your clients. And I truly am excited about where all this is going. So I don't tell you this from a standpoint of, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? I just tell you this because it's really important information to kind of understand what's going on in our industry. Anybody that's ever heard Jason Abrams speak when he comes here and talks and stuff like that? I mean, Jason talks about the 3 buckets, and I totally agree with Jason on these buckets. There is a bucket that wants to eliminate us. There's a bucket that wants to just take some of our money. And then there's a bucket, which is us, that says, leave us all alone and get out of here. And the thing is that I think we're going to land somewhere between the 2 and 3 sector in that. I know y'all know. How many deals have y'all done? Trust me, I talk to y'all all the time on the phone about a deal going sideways, or, these deals are not super simple. And we know with everything that goes on, I don't see agents being eliminated, but what I do see is I want a Red Barn agent. I want Red Barn. I want y'all to be thinking about innovation in this new emerging market. And like I've told y'all, the next decade, we're going to go from super secret information and, magic keys to consultants and advisors and just really, really, really important things in this process because it is such a big deal. So I did want to share that information. If anybody reads Inman News at all, anybody ever heard of Inman? So Inman wrote up a huge article about a week ago on the money flowing in from Wall Street and what it means. So I just took a little snippet of that with the information that they had posted, but the article was actually really good because it just talks about, and what it talks about is that this started in 2007, 2008. And we all know what happened in 2007, 2008, right? The market crashed, and that's when a lot of this money flowed in. And then in 2006, anybody know what happened in 2006? Zillow. So Zillow was kind of that piece of innovation that kind of shifted things, and they continue to, for sure. And, they're an interesting one to continue to watch. So any questions on that, comments on that, any more insight? I know we got a lot of smart people in here.
I just want to say that, our sales job, and we all know that is selling ourselves, and ignorance is bliss. So I continue day to day to educate prospects and people. And once they understand what they don't know and the value we bring to the table, then I think the deal is ours.
Absolutely.
And it's not just millennials. I was talking to a lady yesterday, probably in her, a little over middle age, hasn't sold her home in 20 years, and is about to buy new construction. and she's confused. But once I explained the value and the process and this, it was like, all right.
Absolutely.
So it's education.
Yes. Well, it is, and it's staying on top of it. It's understanding. Like I said, I mean, you can't convince people out of a decision they want to make, but if you can present to them options, I always say, I've talked to some people about this before, but I always say that, we live in a society, and trust me, I love it, but I mean, we don't watch commercials, right? I mean, we freaking Netflix. We don't even wait for shows anymore. We just wait till the season's over and then we watch it on Netflix. We are boom, 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 boom. And when you think about the model, and again, amongst real estate agents here, but when you think about the model of the iBuyer itself, their model is to make money on speed and convenience. And my question is, how do you quantitate speed and convenience? How do you put a price on speed and convenience? If I ask Tim, give me a price on speed and convenience, his price on selling his house is going to be different than my price, just because we're two different people and we have a different idea of what that is. But when you think about this, is that right now, Americans, we have more equity in our homes than we've had in a long, long, long time, right? So we've got a ton of equity. The market is still appreciating, right? So you take an appreciating market with tons of equity and you build the perfect storm for the iBuyers. It is the perfect thing to walk into, because if I have $150,000 of equity in my house and I decide I'm going to sell my house for $30,000 less than a realtor could get me for it, that feels a lot different than if I had $40,000 worth of equity in my house, right? Yes. Everybody totally agree? And so my speed and convenience price can change, obviously, based on my current situation. So what I want everybody in here to know is, as we go on listing presentations and as we listen to these people talk and we understand how much equity they have, if they have $200,000 in equity, you might talk to your blue in the face about how much more money you're going to make them, but that speed and convenience could be at a different price for them. So again, we assist them with Open Door. We put it through the portal. We get our 1, 2, or 3%, however we work it out, and life is good. So that's why we're involved with these different companies, is I just want to make sure. And if there's anybody ever in here, I am wide open for any other ideas, thoughts. Have you thought about this, Scott? Man, we need to do this. I am up for that all day long, because I think collaborating, sharing, and just making us more competitive as a group is going to be an advantage for everybody in here. So,
hey Scott.
Yes.
Doesn't Open Door calculate $500,000 now?
They do. They do.
I have two clients that are in the sevens, but I like to offer them that, but I know it's capped at 500.
Yeah, they cap. So Open Door, again, each one of them has their own model. I don't know what Zillow's model is, and I don't know what OfferPad's model is. I can tell you, as an agent, it's a little bit easier to work with OfferPad than it would be Zillow. But from what I'm seeing right now, Zillow is trying to buy a lot of houses right now to kind of, when these companies raise capital, they got to spend it. And so they are trying and trying and trying. So where I have seen some iBuyers miss more than others is I've seen Zillow miss on the high side a couple of times here recently on some stuff. So you maybe could look at OfferPad. You maybe could look at Zillow and see as an option.
Partner with them as well?
We don't, no. And there's an advantage for us sticking with one. Yeah. And I'll be rolling more out on that down the road. So, but OfferPad will pay a referral, my understanding is. Zillow, you have to work in your commission, so I think it's a little bit different with Zillow. So, any other questions? Comments?
Scott, at last I talked to Zillow, I think their buy box ceiling is 600.
Perfect.
They what?
Their buy box ceiling is 600 at Zillow. So again, these iBuyers, they want to buy and turn quickly. And the reason their fees get higher, the higher the price goes, is because of holding costs. So if you look at a $700,000 house, yeah, it's going to take 8 months to sell versus the $200,000 house. So again, they do have their buy boxes, and investors have their buy boxes as well too. There are some high-end investor flip people out there. I think it's a very risky business. Amy could maybe talk more into that, but they're going to build in massive holding costs as well too, just because of the market.
Invitation Homes is still really strong buying.
They are.
At all the auctions. Yeah, they're at the auctions buying still.
Yep.
A lot of them aren't buying as much, but Invitation Homes is still buying a lot.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they'll go up to 700, but
Jessica.
I noticed Redfin too is getting big here. It was really big up in the DC area before I moved here.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually know a couple of agents who have started working there. And the big issue, they're different than the iBuyer, but they're kind of big on the discount, and you can kind of see anything whenever you want. And the agents are salaried, but what we ran into up in Virginia was, so the agents, they have them doing so much, like the listing agents, if somebody wanted to submit an offer, it was impossible to reach the listing agent, basically.
Right.
So the seller might relist with somebody else, but they did lose a lot of time. I mean, sometimes it worked for them, they got that discount, but a lot of times, it was just the agent on the other end, not being an independent contractor 100%, it was a very different system.
Absolutely. Well, and Redfin's got an iBuy program as well, too, and they're totally different. They're in that bracket 2 model is where I put Redfin. They're in that bracket 2 model. Keller Williams is doing some iBuying right now. Coldwell Banker, Century 21. I mean, you know, again, we're seeing more and more people move into these as just options, but what we're also seeing is, and again, we have no open door people in here, so I can talk freely amongst my friends here, but when y'all call me about a bad open door deal, my heart goes out because I want y'all to get paid. But there's also a piece of me that honestly is like, this is why these institutions can't do this, because they are so black and white that they make so many mistakes. They have so many things that happen. Trust me, I get emails from y'all guys. Hey, I've been trying to get somebody on the phone at Open Door for 3 days. What's going on? I mean, they're not us. They can't do what we do. When you get these employees that don't have their heart and soul into it like we do, I mean, they're employees. They're punching a clock. They're going in. They're going out. A contract is just a contract. There's no personal connection to it. There's no emotion built into it. There's nothing. And that is what, to me, makes us totally different in this thing, is that we care about the client. We care about the client experience. I mean, they say that they care about the client experience, but golly, I'll let you in on a little secret. It stays in this room and on this camera right here. But, yeah. You know, one of Open Door's big investors is Yelp. Has anybody ever tried to look up Open Door's ratings on Yelp from the consumer experience? You won't find it. So read into that however you want to. Maybe they're 6 stars and they just didn't have 6 to put on there. I don't know, but y'all read into that.
There's an article about that. Yeah, they're blocking all the negative reviews.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, we are poised because we have it all. And I'm just so excited about that. And from all accounts, we're seeing an amazing start to the year. We're seeing interest rates dropping some. We're seeing inventory levels not freeing up yet, but hopefully we'll get there one day. I don't know. I don't know if the builders can build fast enough or what's going to happen there. But I think we are poised for just an amazing year all around. And I'm so excited to be a part of it with everybody in here. So I'm going to bring up Laura and let her do her broker section right now.
An hour into it. These are just so. These are just. Can you hear me now? Check, check. It's weird because it doesn't sound any louder.
It's not.
I know. I'm saying that. It's weird. Because I talk on a lot of microphones. So these are just kind of a collection of things that when people call me or they text me, and I think, that's a good thing that, you know, maybe everybody shouldn't be reminded of or refreshed on. Or so if you hear your story, don't be offended. Just know I know it was a good thing to share. But you're kicking ass and taking names. You got a lot going on. But there are things that everybody has to remember just to keep us all out of trouble, me and you included. So everybody knows about the alternative. When you have the closing attorney hold your earnest money, got to have those 2 forms filled out. One of the things Bradley and I are seeing are people are putting NA on alternative holder. So that cannot be left blank. You can put Red Barn in there always and what that means is if they don't agree to it, somebody has to be holding it. And so that needs to be established out of the gate. So always write Red Barn in there.
Is that if you represent the buyer?
It does. What do you mean?
Because I had a listing and they didn't have that completed.
I would go back and say this has to be filled in. Do you want the alternate to be your broker or mine? Either or. I'm just giving you permission to write in Red Barn in there if you want to.
F510 and F511.
That's right.
Sent it to me numerous times.
Another thing kind of about fair housing, and when you're writing a listing description, always describe the property and not the buyer. So don't write something like starter home or family friendly or steps, walking distance to the pool. Don't write anything that describes the person that would be buying it. Always just describe the physical characteristics of the house. Earnest money has to be turned in regardless if you feel like we all have transactions where we're like, I don't know if this is going to close or not. And so you just, I know it's a pain to bring it up here and turn it in, but we've got to have it. So if you've got it written in the contract that we're holding it, especially, you got to follow the guidelines of the timeline in that contract. What else did I have? I got asked recently about if somebody has contacted you, if their property is actively listed or they're actively in a buyer's brokerage agreement with another agent, you cannot solicit their business, but they can come to you. So if I have a house listed and I randomly talk to Bobby and tell her how much I dislike my agent, will you come talk to me? And tell me what you can do for me? You can most definitely have those conversations with those people. You cannot just actively be contacting them. If you do send out a mailer, you really should have a writer on the bottom that says this is not a solicitation for your business. If your home is actively listed, it's not the end of the world if you don't have that, but it's better safe than sorry. Legals, always a legal description, a lack of a legal description is avoidable contract. Doesn't mean it's void, but if something goes sideways, that's the easiest way for somebody to be like, this is avoidable contract, and so my people want out of it. And we have, Davika has super fast and responsive, shoot her an email, and she will send you the legal description, whether you're using McMichael or Gray or not. So whether you've got a listing that agent didn't put it in, or you've got the buyer, the listing agent didn't put it in, reach out to her for that when you're writing the offer, or when you're putting the listing in the MLS system, ask her for that and write it in there. Last thing is just a buyer's brokerage agreement. I posted something about that on Workplace. Scott and I hated getting them. We never got them signed. They're redundant because you're already checking the boxes that say you're representing them, but we have to have them to be compliant. And I'm just waiting to be audited, frankly, because we have grown so fast that I'm just, it's any minute. We're a ticking time bomb. And so the more we can have everything, all of our boxes checked and everything right, the less of a heartache and stress it's going to be for me and Bradley when that day comes. So with buyer brokerage agreement, the easiest way to do it is just slip it right in there when you're sending them over the offer to sign on the buyer. Just send it in there right with it. Technically, you should have it before you ever advise them of any business. Always treat somebody as a customer instead of doing a dual agency. If you can all edit. I've decided to cut out dual agency entirely just because we've had some situations where it's just gone sideways, and you can still represent as a customer and still get paid. So there's no reason to then be doing both sides of those transactions. I think that's all I got. Any questions? Any thoughts?
So Laura, on the buyer's agency agreement, we would check, we don't support dual agency.
That's right. Sub-agency and dual agency are the toolboxes that you would check. Designated agency, that came up recently too. Designated agency is just two Red Barn agents working the same transaction. That is not dual agency and is perfectly okay. Just make sure you're checking the dual agent or the designated agency box, and then you're writing in each name for the agent. Anybody else?
And I think as an industry, we're going to see.
And do not send broker questions to Scott.
Yeah, because I'll just answer them. And
We were
then
in the car the other day, and somebody said, "I was like, that's not the right answer. Like, what are you doing?" Like,
when that audit happens, me and Aspen will be paddleboarding down the river.
yeah.
That's the name of it. Yes.
Any other questions,
So
thoughts?
I'd try it on in front of a group. See how it
And
felt.
I hate to feel like and Scott makes me feel like a nagger when I need the paperwork, and Bradley and I need the paperwork. But it really, like I said, we are a ticking time bomb. I assure you, for our stuff getting audited. So it's coming. Winter is coming, right, Bradley?
Yeah.
Kevin. Is it Kevin and Paul or just Kevin?
It could be either. Could be both. Paul, ready? Come on. I'll be quick. I got two things. First is just to start with a thank you, and here's why. So you get started with anything, and as you guys all know, Black Oak got officially licensed in the state of Georgia back in end of October, and so really November December and January is what in the real estate mortgage world? The worst, right? Everyone's like holidays, they don't want to buy, and they're just not doing anything. And so our first 3 months, as much as we still did deals, it was slow. And it's been pretty cool because the reason I have to say thank you is because ever since everything started picking back up in February and March, it's been really, really cool to partner with you guys and just to see the growth happen so quickly. I mean, we're small, and we understand that, and we're doing everything we can to make this amazing. But you're helping us grow with you, which is a great partnership, and we appreciate that. So just to give you some numbers, for the month of February, we closed 15 loans, and then last month we closed 26 loans. And so, yeah, which is, it may not sound like a lot, but for us, we're like, yeah! It's growing fast, and it's growing well, and so we're excited about that. To see for the month of March, over 7 million in volume, we're like, okay, this is great. We're all working as a team and believing in each other. So the next thing, I said 2 things. First was a thank you. So one, just really genuinely thank you for believing in us, trusting us, working with us. And if you haven't started working with us yet, that's okay. We understand that, you have your relationships and the people that you work with and trust, and we just want to help when we can. And if we get a shot in the future, we'll do everything we can to do our best. And that's all we can tell you guys. And that's how we genuinely feel. The second thing is I have a request. And the request is, if you've worked with us, we need you to help us build this thing by giving us constant feedback. And I know that sounds weird because usually the loan officer or the mortgage company and the realtor, they have a partnership, but they also don't talk when there's issues. And that's normal. That's just the way that the relationships work in the industry, and we're asking to change that. We're asking for you guys, in a lot of ways, to hammer us when there's things that are going on, because the only way for us to customize this to you, because you guys have to remember, this thing was built for you. It was built for you. And so for us to customize it for you, which means the systems, the communication, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. For us to be able to do that the right way and to do it for you, we need your constant feedback. So if you have closed a loan with us, Paul and I are asking for you to just seek us out and do it consistently and just say, okay, hey, I didn't tell you about this, but I really would like to see this be different in the future. Or, hey, what do you think about this tweak? Can we do this on the next deal that we bring you? And if you have not done a deal with us yet, that's okay, but we are asking you to do this. Come tell us what you would prefer to see in Black Oak. So for whenever that day comes, even if it's your worst client, it's the worst deal ever, and you're like, you know what, this is the one I'm going to give Black Oak. We are fine with that, okay? And I'm being dead serious. You guys are laughing at us. Trust me, we're completely fine with this because Teresa's laughing because we gave a girl a home that should not have gotten a home. I'm not kidding you. Just straight up, the girl did not deserve a home. And we got her in somehow. I don't know how, but we did. And we need to be able to cross these hurdles with you guys and build it correctly so that whenever that day does come that you bring us that worst buyer ever or whatever it is, that we already are ahead of the game. And that we're able to look at this and go, okay, you know what? I know that you prefer this, this, and this. And then it's my job to perform on that. And when I don't, Paul and I are expecting for you to come tell us, hey, you fell short here. So can we fix this in the future? And then we will say yes. Okay? I know he started off the conversation with saying he's going to start saying no more. Okay? Well, we're in yes mode. Okay? And we're in yes mode because that's where we're at. We're a lot smaller. We're not as old as Red Barn. Okay? But we're here to help. We're here to support. And we want to do this together. And are we going to mess up? 100% we're going to mess up. Does that get a good guarantee that you want to hear? No, it's not, but it's the truth, okay? And we're going to do everything we can with our expertise and for the amount of time that we've been doing this to make sure we have as little mistakes as possible, okay? But we got to do it together and we got to do it as a team because that's the original vision of what we're doing here. So that's the request I have. Do you have anything to say?
No. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Perfect. Hey. And like y'all see purposefully, they're behind glass doors with no locks. That's a purpose. They can't hide from you. So give them the feedback. And just so y'all know, Kevin and I and Paul, we meet every Monday. Davika and I meet every Monday. So what we do is we're talking about things where we fell short because we know we're going to fall short. I used to call it the black hole. I'd do a deal. I'd send it to the black hole, lenders, closing attorneys, and I crossed my fingers. And I got Monday updates, and I hoped everything worked, and majority of the time it did. This makes Bobby's head hurt right here, so I'm telling this story. And so I am starting to understand more of the black hole, and it's pretty cool, like what's behind the black hole. And we want y'all to not have to dig into that to understand that, but just know that you've got me, you've got Kevin, you've got Davika, open door policy with any of us, whether it's good, bad, whatever. You're going to start seeing, some of y'all maybe have already seen it already, and Laura came up with this idea, and it was an awesome idea. We're actually going to start doing some small surveys each month for everybody that had a closing with McMichael and Gray and with Black Oak, and just get your feedback on it. And we need that because it's going to help us to help these guys to build the companies that y'all want to see in here to give your clients. Again, it's all about the client an amazing experience.
I just want to add something about Black Oak because I'm doing a deal with new construction.
Yeah.
And the new construction was like, you know how they want, you use their lender, they'll give you $5,000 in closing costs. So she was dealing with them, Lennar's lender, which is Eagle. And anyway, I just said to her, listen, why don't you just give Black Oak a try? Because somewhere the 5,000's got to come from somewhere in hidden fees. Well, sure enough, Black Oak actually helped her out better, gave her a lower interest rate, and was able to help her out better. And she didn't have to pay off something that the other one was telling her. But you think that it's better going with their lender that they're saying. But the other thing was now. With the 5,000, they were going to reduce that on my commission, and now they added it back in. So now I'm getting, not that I did that for that reason.
Right, no, absolutely.
Afterward, but that's another little benefit. But I wanted to say thank you to Black Oak for helping her out, and just because, just wanted to kind of let you know how that helped in new construction.
Oh, that $5,000 goes to
Yeah, and that
taking that out of your commission to give to the buyer. That's not enough.
well, not the fact that they were taking it out of the sales price.
Right. So it
was $150. No. Yeah.
So just instead of the 3%, based on the,
Yes.
5,000, that's all.
Yeah, it was sales price.
But they still helped her out, which was the main thing. And I just wanted to say, in new construction, I didn't think that they would be able to beat them, and they did. So.
Well, it's hard to do because just so y'all know, typically the builder's matching either dollar for dollar on that as an incentive, or they're throwing a little bit extra in there. So it's tough to do. So that's awesome. Davika. McMichael and Gray. Davika's been busy. She had 4 closings on the last day of the month, I think, in here. 4 or 5? 7. My bad. Yeah, let's not downplay how busy she was.
Well, for those of you who haven't met, my name's Davika. I'm with McMichael and Gray. I'm the attorney who sits upstairs in the glass doors. So we have a couple of new things going on. We'll also follow up on Kevin. Thank you guys, because last month was incredible, and I was super busy, and I loved every minute of it. And now I actually have a full team. So we have our own pre-closer who started yesterday. Marla's going to be the closer, so 3 contacts, and that's it. So we'll definitely get things kind of smoothed out now, and hopefully it'll make life easier for all of us. And then also we're starting a new system. Instead of using the McCaddy, which we were using, now we're using SoftPro 360. So essentially when we get a contract, we input your information into the system. You get emails about everything as it's updated. So it's kind of like a portal. You log in that first time, and then you get emails. Or if you don't want emails, you can just go, like, it's got this Monday thing. You can go whenever you want and see what's in there, when titles come in, what's been ordered, when you have HOA, all that will be over there. So you don't ever have to be like, oh, where are we? What's going on? Why, so all of your questions will be right there for you. So very excited about that. We're still working out a few kinks on that, but my new pre-closer who started yesterday, actually, she's going to be opening up all the new contracts coming in, and that's how we're going to do them.
And what's your name?
Heidi. Yes. So she'll be in our Cobb office, because obviously there's not a ton of space up here. So she'll be 10 minutes away, so not far. But so I'm going to send out a welcome thing for her in a couple days. So just be on the lookout for that. Other than that, I also really hate going after Kevin because he's like super inspirational, and I don't have that. But
I'll flip him next month. Just let me know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Perfect. Yeah, and like I said, you know, Davika and I were talking. I mean, Michael and Gray was already going to this, but it was so funny because like 2 weeks ago I sat with Davika and I was like, Davika, we got to have a system that automatically updates these agents. It's insane, right? Anytime we're waiting on a human being to call somebody else or email somebody something and we can automate that, let's automate that. And she's like, oh, great news, Michael and Gray's already going to that. And I was like, sweet, because, and then we got talking about kind of logistics of it, right? And we talked about there's to me and Bobby. I'm going to call Bobby out in here just since you're making fun of me. So Bobby would want the emails. I know this about Bobby. She would want the emails. Like, I would be the guy that never asked for the emails, but every Monday I would go into the portal and check on my people, unless something had gotten a little sideways. But the good news is we're going to use automation in this. We're looking at some stuff. No big promises. I'm not going to put Kevin on the spot over here, but we're going to be looking at some stuff inside of Black Oak for that same thing too. The goal is to not disconnect us from people, but the goal is that anytime a person is involved, including all of us in here, and y'all know, how many times have I told you, I'm going to email that to you today. And then the day goes by and you won't get the email from me. You know why? Because I'm human and I get sidetracked and everything else, and it happens to every single one of us. So if we can automate those two things and give the client a better experience, I mean, everything you're going to hear me talk about is client experience, and y'all involved and our partners involved. In that, I want to bring up one more thing. So a lot of y'all know we do have a coaching program inside of here where experienced agents coach new agents, and the goal is that we're getting our new agents to a cap in year one. Like, that's our goal. Our goal is to take the new agents, accelerate them right in, get them up to $2 million, and get them a foundation built in their business. And we do that through Lead Share A, with coaching with Matthew, and we do that with the individualized coaching. So right now, anybody that's an experienced agent that would like to learn more about the coaching program, maybe be involved, email Laura after the meeting today, and she can get you more information on that. April, Toro, I'm going to call April out. April has been so passionate about the coaching program that she started showing us, hey, here's what I'm doing for my people. Here's some things that I've put together. She built the Trello board. What's that cool Zoom? Is it called Zoom? I mean, she sent me a Zoom video for coaching call, and it was freaking awesome, like amazing. She's basically writing all the curriculum into this coaching program, and the goal behind this is to allow the coaches to follow the program, which is static but important, and then let that coach still be dynamic when the time comes. So you'll always hear me talk about, I want a dynamic coaching program. So I'm like, I want a dynamic coaching program. I built the boat. Let's go. And everybody's like, I don't even know what you're talking about, Scott. I'm so confused. Like, what do you mean? So I just drive around. If I find somebody who wants to buy something, then I call this other person and they help me write the contract. And so April and Laura's been doing a lot of work on this as well too, but they're putting a lot of work into the very structured part of kind of the first 8 weeks to this program. And it allows the coaches to be a little bit more uniformed. It allows our new agents a better foundation coming into this business because, again, we're only going to take in so many new agents in a given year. So we only have so many seats on the bus. So we want this to be a successful program. And so anybody that's interested in being a coach, and it's not just about giving back. Like, you do become a better agent coaching people, I promise you. I was a C algebra student who taught algebra in high school, like taught it outside of high school. And I was like, how do I make a C in this class? It was so easy when I was teaching it. But the same thing happens in your business. Plus, this is our place to where you, as somebody helping somebody new, can get paid in the deal as well too. So I always call it sub-passive income. So anybody interested in that, get with Laura, shoot an email to Laura, let her know, and we can kind of talk more about that as we are looking for maybe a couple more coaches here and there. All right, anything else? Oh, yes. So, y'all all know that we have the Sonoy office. We are, May 1st, we'll have an Alpharetta location as well, too. And in the Alpharetta location, it is going to be run by Becky Shea Smith back there. In the back. So, what we've done, what's she doing? Are you tearing up?
Well, I had to go to the bathroom, sorry.
Oh, I know I didn't see you in here, so.
Sorry, I stepped
So what we've done, guys, when we expand, I mean, expansion's always, kind of a big decision on office space, brick and mortar, what type of investment do we make, and all that stuff. And so what we've decided, and Alfred, let Becky get started, is we've got a spot inside of Thrive. So the multi-working complex over there, and they are actually building another office next to their one office inside of Alpharetta. We probably will use this as just a temporary house to get going. So if you go over to see Becky in Alpharetta, don't expect a lot of office space right now. She's got one office in there because that's all they have. She has a desk and 2 desks. But we are excited about the launch of that. We're excited that Becky's going on this adventure with us, in doing that. She's very excited, very passionate about growing that. And we think Alpharetta is, going to be a good market. So now Sonoy is up and going, and we're getting some traction down there. We're going to be doing the same thing in Alpharetta and probably looking to 1 to 2 other spots this year as well, too. And so the goal behind this is just we don't want 300 and 400 agents in an office. We want to be able to keep our offices at a size where people know each other. We don't walk in and say, who's that person? And where people can collaborate and stuff. So that's kind of the important thing. And again, for us, it's tough because you've got companies that are totally virtual that have no offices. I mean, the office themselves are our biggest overhead that we have. So we're kind of always skirting that line of how do we do this and what do we do with this and how do we do it responsibly for sure. Because like I've told you, as the shift has continued to happen, those old school brokers that used to make a whole lot of money, those margins are shrinking. I was laughing, EXP Realty, I'm not picking on them individually, they're just a big one, they're massive. But they were up 227% revenue last year and still lost $4 million overall. And that's growth mode and that's raising capital and all that stuff. But it's just it's a tougher model than it's been. So we're very careful when we pick our expansion offices, but we are fired up that Becky's along for the ride with us. And with that, anything you want to say, Becky?
No, just come see me. Yeah, I mean, just come and sit and talk to me and let's see how we can work, in Alpharetta with the Woodstock office and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a cute office. It's really neat. It's got a lot of workspace, really cool space. So like you said, hopefully it'll be temporary because I really would like to grow beyond it. My desk and another desk. But yeah, like for right now, there's amazing places to eat. So come see me because I'm not here anymore.
Where is the Thrive office at?
It is on Milton Avenue.
Yeah, Milton Avenue.
No, not on Milton.
In downtown.
Milton Avenue, yeah, Milton Avenue. And so like I don't know if you go to food trucks or if you go to Taste of Alpharetta, but Taste of Alpharetta is on Milton Avenue. It's the road that they closed down for all the events. And Food Truck Alley is it's the parking lot of Thrive, basically.
And when is we're sponsoring that way?
So yeah, we are sponsoring May 2nd. Yeah.
So we're gonna have our shirts come down. Ken and Nita will be there.
Oh yeah, there'll be a tent at Taste of Alpharetta, and so yeah, I would love for you guys.
May
to
2nd,
come.
what time?
May 2nd from I think it starts at 5,
Okay.
5 to 10, I believe.
So it's kind of like an Alive at 5 kind of thing?
It will blow you
On
away
steroids.
how many people there are. It is the largest event in Alpharetta.
Really?
Yes, and it's there's over 60 restaurants right now that have committed to taste, and you buy tickets and you just give them the tickets for certain items, food items.
So it's not once a month, it's just that?
No, it's one
okay.
time. I mean, it's massive. It's a lot of fun though.
So we need to invite workplace.
Yeah. Hey, and just so everybody here has a better understanding of this too, we were, especially in Georgia, very passionate about doing they're basically owner-operator, corporate-owned models that we do. And the reason being is that we didn't want to create this huge divide of a franchise here and a franchise here, and this person had franchise rights and this person did, and each office being kind of independently owned and operated. So we want the collaboration amongst the offices that we build here as well. And so, especially up north of 285, I mean, we're going to have several locations all within different areas that cover totally different areas and bring in different agents. But the thing with that is that every agent, whether they're Alpharetta-based, Woodstock-based, will be able to come and utilize office space inside of these. Now, obviously, Thrive is not an easy place to be able to utilize, but the dream and the goal is that agents can come. So agents will be home-based, out of a certain office, but if they're meeting a client over in Alpharetta, or if they're meeting a client over in the Roswell area, and we had an office over there, or they're meeting somebody up in Canton and they're over there. So we want to be able to put these in places where U.S. agents can even go and use them as well too, and feel welcome in there as well too. So agents will have, a home base, come to the meetings like this in the home base, but be able to utilize different spaces as you're out there. So questions, comments? Please just get done, Scott. It's 11:34. All right. Good deal. Thank y'all.